Hey Epic people, Zepic here. I'm not gonna lie, I completely forgot February was a short month. I thought I would have enough time to get a simple build out to people, and yeah, that didn't happen. Lesson learned. If I think something will take a certain amount of time, I should probably double it. But even though I didn't finish everything, I still got a lot done. So let's break it down. At the end of January, I finished some camera placement, so the next step was player movement, which meant building out the pathfinding system. Here's how it works. When you select a tile to move to, the game checks if that tile is within your movement range. If it is, the system builds a path from your current position to that tile. It starts at the chosen tile and looks at the surrounding tiles to find the one closest to the player. It saves that tile, then repeats the process, stepping backwards towards the player until it reaches the starting position. All of those tiles are stored away in an array, reversed, and then it becomes the final movement path. I also made sure that you can't move onto tiles that are already occupied. When combat starts, every unit's position is saved and updated whenever they move. And just to make things feel more alive, units now automatically look towards the nearest enemy. Small detail, but adds a lot. Next up was the lock-on system and enemy tracking. This is how you initiate combat, so it needs to be somewhat decent at least for now. You can lock on to the nearest enemy within range. The camera frames both the player and the enemy, but it's not restrictive. You can still move the camera freely if you so choose to. If you move too far away, the lock breaks. And if another enemy comes into view, you can switch targets as well. Enemies roam the overworld using Unreal's navigation system. They have a base movement speed, but if they see you, they speed up and chase after you. They don't instantly give up if you break line of sight either, but if they can't see you for long enough, they'll return to roaming. Once that was working, I built the combat entry system. There are 3 engagement types. If you lock onto an enemy and initiate combat, that's player engage. If the enemy doesn't see you when combat starts, you get an advantage and they take some damage. If they do see you, combat starts normally. If the player and enemy collide, it's enemy engage. The player takes damage and the enemy starts with an advantage. If you press the parry button right before collision, it triggers parry engage. The enemy takes even more damage and the player starts with an advantage. When combat begins, all other enemies in the overworld are paused and hidden as well. Then came the big one, AI. It was a little complicated, but thankfully since I did this once before, it wasn't as complicated as last time. Each AI unit loops through every skill it has, every tile within its movement range, and every direction that skill can be cast. For each possibility, it checks, can I hit anyone from here? If yes, it saves that tile, the skill it used, and the direction it was using it in. After collecting all candidates, it scores them. Hitting enemies increases the score, hitting allies decreases it, and the base damage of the skill is factored in. Once everything is scored, it keeps the top 3 options and discards the rest. Right now, it simply picks the highest score, but later I can expand this to consider things like safety, positioning, elemental affinities, and more. The AI uses the same pathfinding system as the player to move as well. If it can't hit anyone, it moves towards the closest enemy and ends its turn. It's simple right now, but the framework is there. The last thing I added was a small animation when an enemy engage happens. The camera zooms in, slows down, and then pulls back. Both the player and enemy gets pushed backwards instead of teleporting. If I had full character models and animation, this is where I would add a recoil animation, but even now, it already feels a lot better than a hard cut. I didn't finish everything I wanted, but here's what still needs to be done before I send this out to people. Skills need effects and actual damage implementation. Camera work during skill usage and AI turns. A simple level up system. Enemies spawning in the overworld. Allies spawning at the start of combat. Enemies will spawn 0 to 2 allies. If you defeat an enemy, they will join your team in the next fight. If you already have them on your team, they won't duplicate though. And then the big foundational stuff. Basic UI, controller input, control customization, and a simple save system. After that, I want to dive into character modeling and level design. Honestly, I think the hardest part coming up will be the camera work around skills. That's going to take some iteration. Even though February was shorter than I planned for, I'm proud of the systems I built. The game is starting to feel like a real game, not just pieces. Alrighty, epic people, thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Stay epic.